Shocking many anti-gun advocates, a new policy allowing for constitutional carry in the Buckeye State did not lead to an increase in violent crime. A new study published by the Center for Justice Research in partnership between the Office of Ohio Attorney General David Yost and Bowling Green State University revealed that 6 of Ohio's 8 largest cities saw less gun crime after the state's constitutional carry law took effect. For those not aware, constitutional carry is a system where gun owners don't need to register for a permit with the government in order to have a concealed carry gun.
Several states across the country have adopted the policy, though some gun control advocates have expressed concerns that removing restrictions on who can carry guns could lead to more violence. President Biden recently released a new initiative stressing safer storage for guns. Some gun rights advocates have expressed concerns that this could lead to new laws enforcing compliance with such an initiative.
Here to discuss this new Ohio policy is Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost. Mr. Attorney General, welcome to Rising. Thanks for joining us, and we're excited to break down this study. So let's start with just digging into the data a little bit. What did we learn in this research into violent crime and gun crime specifically after this concealed carry law was passed?
Well, I really didn't know what the data was going to show, but I thought that either way, it would be useful. I'm a former prosecutor, and I always tell my assistant prosecutors, the truth is always your friend. The evidence is always good. So don't shirk away from it. So we did this because during the debate, of course, and then afterwards, when there were violent incidents in some of our big cities, we would regularly hear the mayor saying, well, this is all the fault of the Republicans in Columbus. They passed this law, and now there's guns everywhere. So I wanted to find out very simply, we've got this natural experiment. We have a sharp line in the sand in the middle of 2022. The year before, the year after, what was the impact? What changed in gun violence in Ohio? I thought that the answer, whichever way it went, would be useful. So we looked at the data, and the statistically valid conclusion is that constitutional carry did not drive an increase. Now, the data also showed some decreases across the board, and in 6 out of our 8 largest cities, the numbers actually went down. Now, I can't say on the basis of this data that constitutional carry makes crime go down. There's multiple causations that you would have to control for, and I'm not even sure that it's ultimately possible. But what we can say, though, with reasonable scientific accuracy is the constitutional carry did not drive the Wild West scenario that those on the left and our big city mayors predicted.
Yeah, we're talking about these high-level statistics of a decrease in violent crime, but actually the researchers also looked into a breakdown of the data of just total incidents involving a firearm and saw pretty consistently that those incidents involving a firearm went down when you compare month to month before the permit list or constitutional carry to after. With the exception of Cincinnati, Ohio, we did see a bit of a spike in the month of June. Are you concerned with the data we're seeing in Cincinnati of those incidents involving firearms going up, or did we see this begin to plateau after June when the study concluded?
Yeah, we took a look at the data after the study, and it does appear that Cincinnati maybe is a spike that's anomalous because the 6 months after that doesn't seem to be a continuation of that trend. That's not part of the study itself, though, so we'll be looking at the data again on a little bit longer axis in a year or two and seeing whether these conclusions hold up.
I also noticed in this study that what was mentioned was a program called Shot Spotters, and I've heard of this program before. It's also used in Long Island to help police respond to and perhaps prevent gun violence incidents. Can you explain to the viewers a little bit about what Shot Spotters is and how it's used as an aid to law enforcement?
Yeah, so the signature, the sound of a gunshot is very distinctive. and can be identified. So ShotSpotter is basically a set of acoustic pickups, microphones, if you will, around a city that can detect gunshots and distinguish them from other kinds of sounds that might be similar to the untrained ear. I still duck and turn around and look on the 4th of July. But what it showed, and this is very limited, but we wanted to check it as a validation. Not every city had ShotSpotter. They use it in different ways. But the ShotSpotter data seemed to correlate with the reported gun violence numbers, and that simply further makes us confident about the outcome of the study.
Now, we also have this data on how this affected policing in the cities across Ohio, and it looks like there isn't a significant difference, in fact, a slight decrease in the cases where an officer was shot by a firearm or in the cases where a person shot an officer with the firearm. Can you say a little bit more about, what maybe the narrative was among the public around policing, or rather the police force or law enforcement in general? Was there an anxiety after this constitutional carry law was passed that we'd see an increase in officers harmed in the line of duty, or officers, being more inclined to shoot residents, pedestrians, civilians, with the assumption that they might be carrying a firearm?
Well, of course, that discussion happens, and the unknown is always a little bit scary. But there's two pieces to that. So the first one is, are citizens more likely to shoot police? The fact of the matter is no, and particularly the law-abiding citizens who carry a weapon aren't carrying it so they could shoot police. So that doesn't surprise me at all. On the other side of the coin, our police are well trained. They are always looking for ways to resolve conflicts short of using force, much less deadly force. So it doesn't surprise me at all. Now, here's a quick caveat. The numbers we're talking about here are very small. So I think more research would be needed before you could draw very many robust conclusions, other than the fact that the interactions between police and citizens have traditionally been very peaceful, millions of interactions with no use of force. And after concealed carry reform, they continued to be peaceful.
This falls a little bit outside of the range of the study, but I just wanted to get your opinion on it. There's been a common narrative that there should be a requirement for people to obtain some kind of training certificate or go through some kind of safety course before they obtain a concealed carry permit. Of course, Ohio now allows people to carry without a permit. First of all, have you seen any marked difference in the, the level of ability of people to exercise their rights safely after this change in the concealed carry law? Was that ever a concern for you, or do you find mostly that people are able to still safely carry even despite not having gone through some kind of training?
Well, most people who do carry go their whole lives and never have to draw their weapon. So I think the incidence is so small that it's difficult to draw any conclusions. But look, I'm for training. I still train. Not only went through my, the basic concealed carry permit back when it was first enacted, but I regularly requalify in my current job, and I'm for training. Look, guns don't kill people, don't hurt people any more than electricity kills people and is responsible for electrocution. Both of these are potentially dangerous tools that require caution and training to be able to handle safely. But they're also important tools and can do great good. So I support training. And I encourage everybody, whether the government tells you you have to do it or not, it's the responsible thing to do.
Attorney General Yost, thank you so much for coming on Rising and breaking this down with us.
Thank you. I've enjoyed our conversation.